What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Warren. I am a banker here in London and a property investor across the UK. My goal is to live free and independently from property, so I'm looking for an income of £3,000 per month from property. If that's what you're onto, like, subscribe, that is what my content is all about. So guys, this is the March 2023 UK housing market update. Guys, I'm going to get straight into it. We are already into the first quarter, right, of 2023. Q1, 3 months gone. Where has the time gone? But this is a good time to be looking at the data and what's happening so far this year and where we think the rest of the year is going to go. What I want to start with, guys, is a HM land registry data. They have finally produced all of the data for all of the houses bought and sold in the UK for last year. There is a slight lag with the HM land registry data because it's everything across the UK. When we talk about the nationwide index and we talk about the Halifax one and the Rightmove one, these are subsets of the data for the whole of the UK because there is no one lender that covers all of the UK transactions, but all of the UK transactions get registered with HM land registry. So let's get straight into the data. For 2022, guys, as you can see on screen right now, the 12-month growth was 9.8%, guys. I really want you to think about that. 9.8%, just under 10%. We know that the long-term average over the last 10 years, the growth has been 6.7%. So we're around about 50% above that, guys. And what I want you to do is to think back to what happened, right, during 2022. And before that, we had the war in Ukraine that started in February. We had the September budget by Lizzie and Kwarteng that basically broke the economy for a couple of months. We had the lingering effects of Brexit and the global health pandemic. There was stagnant growth. The cost of living was spiraling out of control. It is still tough now. Inflation was going up and rising mortgage rates were running riot in the housing market. Despite all of that, guys, despite all of that, 9.8% growth for the full year. And also, guys, think back to what you were hearing in the media. Think back to my videos back end of last year where I was telling you that there is not going to be a crash, and a small portion of people who usually shout the loudest were saying there is going to be a crash. You don't know what you're saying. Again, 9.8% growth despite all of that. At this stage, if anybody still thinks that there's going to be a crash, I do not know what to say to you anymore, guys. Now let's have a look at the Rightmove statistics. We can see in the most recent month that growth has remained at 0%. So it's basically been flat, guys. And of course, we know that Rightmove is all about art skin prices. It is an indicator of demand. So what we're seeing is basically people are being cautious about their expectations of the future in terms of the housing market. They're not overpricing or underpricing. They're just keeping their expectations neutral, basically. And then when we look at the commentary in the actual report, we can see that there are an increasing numbers of buyers returning. So even though it's 0% for the most previous month, people are coming back into the market in terms of those wanting to list their houses. So an increasing number of buyers indicates that we are likely to see an increase in price growth month to month as we progress further on into the year. And it further backs up where it says that the UK housing market in 2023 is much better than many expected. Buyer demand is up by 11% and sales agreed is recovering from 15% down at the start of the year and 30% down at the aftermath, in the aftermath of the mini budget. So green shoots, guys, in terms of the UK housing market in 2023. From the Rightmove report, it seems like things are trending upwards, okay? No sign of a UK housing market crash. And we haven't looked at affordability trends for quite some time. Let's have a look at the average amount of monthly spend by first-time buyers. So it's comparing those who are renting versus those who are getting a mortgage to purchase their own home, assuming a 10% deposit. Huge gap between the average levels of rent and the average mortgage. As you can see, they have come down slightly. They peaked in September when the mini budget was announced, but they have come down considerably since then. There was a lot of media scaremongering, telling you that rates are just going to keep on rising indefinitely and the whole world's going to burn down. But on this channel, guys, we are rational, okay, when it comes to the UK housing market. We look at the data, and I told you guys that yes, we're going to see a permanent increase, right, in mortgage rates because they've been so low for the last 15 years artificially, okay, after the 2008 global economic crash. But they're not going to rise indefinitely. What we saw in September was an artificial, external, exogenous shock to the economy and to the UK housing market, to the UK mortgage market, but it would come back down and settle at a certain level, which it looks like is happening, right, as we speak. And guys, to drive this point home, there's some stats out there, okay, that show the trend in 2-year and 5-year fixed mortgage rates, variable rates, and standard variable rates from November. Have a look at these stats right here. So on average, in November 2022, so this is off the back of the chaos that happened in September with the mini budget announcement that sent the UK housing market and the UK economy into shock. The average 2-year fix went up to 5.97%, and the average 5-year fix went up to around about 5.75%. Fast forward to the first month of this year, January 2023, in the UK housing market, we already begin to see mortgage rates coming down and normalizing after Rishi Sunak comes in, takes the reins along with Jeremy Hunt. 2-year fixed rate mortgages come down to around about 5.4%, 5 years down to 5.1%. We also have some data for 2-year variable rate mortgages, 4.56%. Standard variable rate mortgages, 6.76%. Damn. Okay. And then fast forward another month, the most recent month in February, again, further decreases. So the average 2-year fixed rate mortgage in the UK housing market come down to 5.27%. 5-year fixed, 4.97%, so we've gone below 5%. 2-year variable rate mortgage, 4.42%. And I personally expect that to reduce further over the coming couple of months and maybe settle round about 10%, 5% below what we've seen for February just on screen. And then linking into that, guys, let's have a quick look at the Halifax UK housing market index for March 2023. I want to start with the commentary, right? So we can see that it says, conditions should gradually improve if inflation moderates in the coming month as expected, which is going to ease pressure on the UK household budgets, especially if mortgage rates edge lower in the coming months. And similar to Rightmove in terms of the change in prices in the UK housing market for March 2023, we can see from Halifax that the price change for the most recent month is 0%. So it's stayed level, just like the Rightmove. So overall, what is the message here? Cautiously optimistic, right? If mortgage rates continue to normalize and settle, if interest rates normalize in parallel to that, and we don't see any other shocks to the economy out with the blue as we saw with Liz and Kwasi, the overall sentiment is that the housing market is going to be okay. I'm not saying that we're going to have another stellar year of 9.8% for 2023 in the UK housing market, but what I am saying is that there is not a crash coming. I've said that for the last 5-6 months now. And the housing market is stable, right? Especially when you consider that there is an election coming in the next, I think it's 18 months. Usually, and I'm being cynical here, what the incumbent political party tends to do is to ensure that the economy and the housing market is stable at all costs because they want to get re-elected. Not saying that the Conservatives are going to get elected. In fact, I hope they don't, but this is not a political channel. But I don't see, first of all, just inherently in terms of the market itself, stable, and I think there's other stuff around it in terms of the political climate and what's going to be happening on the horizon, which I doubt we'll see a fall in the UK housing market in 2023. But I'm not saying that it's not possible. Anything's possible, guys. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, guys. If you did, share it, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next